loud. There we go. It's recording. This very slow thing is recording now. Okay. Make sure all the stuff's good. Yay! Okay. So, this is more or less a continuation and a redoing of my original video I was trying to do. Started off as me trying to understand why some people might identify as certain non-binary stuff, and that just, plain and simple, it kind of just turned into me kind of making fun of it. So now I've decided to recall it the Gender Playground. So now that everything looks like it's going pretty smoothly, I am going to go over here and start looking at all this stuff. So, the first gender thing on this list, if my computer will stop being stupid. So, for all of y'all, I was told that my video does not show my ZoomText software that I use, which is very super zoomed in. Like, I can only see like the first two genders where my mouse is in between, and like basically this is kind of the general area of what I can see at a time. So yeah, more or less, and it's inverted color. Of course, that doesn't show on the video, but just for anyone who wants to know why this might take me a little longer to do. So let's get started here. The first gender is Adam S gender. A gender which refuses to be categorized. Well, I mean, I guess that sounds more like eternally being questioning of your gender, but okay. Next gender, adaptogender. When your gender identity was obtained through your realization of your kin self, as in your kin realization spurred your gender realization. Note, the gender and kin type do not necessarily have to correlate with each other. So and my girlfriend is already laughing in the background.
Okay, but see, the thing is, if you come into terms with what you are as other kin, and that spurs your realization of what your gender is, and it's not just like, my gender is this thing, why does adaptogender need to be a category? Wouldn't it just be any one of the other things?
I'm just thinking, like, it's no, it's just like this is more of a description on how you realized your gender, not an actual gender.
Like
I
myself am other kid in part, and entirely come to terms with being female until I also came into realizing my identity as kid. I wouldn't identify with that.
Anyhow, next gender. Oh, arrogender. See evase gender. Obviously, I cannot pronounce words. I think,
Do you identify as air?
I guess. I mean, I guess we'll see that when we come across it.
Mm-hmm.
This video is going to show how bad I am at pronouncing things and
I'm
greeting.
not even sure how to pronounce that one, so don't feel bad.
Aesthetic, no,
No.
aesthetic,
Aesthetic gender. I don't
good
know.
enough. A gender derived from an aesthetic. So it is in the aesthetic. What?
Aesthegender.
Aesthegender. There we go.
What the heck?
That doesn't make sense, but okay. From an aesthetic. Also known as vidgender, something like that. I don't know. Some of these things, it's like. I think. We've only gotten past, like, what, 4 genders, and we're already having aneurysms from pure stupidity?
It's like, I really like the goth aesthetic. I identify as goth from gender.
Oh, dear.
Or, I really like the Asian aesthetic. My gender is Asian.
Oh my gosh. No! Let's go to the next gender before more happens.
They probably can't hear me because I'm relatively quiet.
Yeah. Yeah, my
If
girlfriend's
they can-
making a lot of jokes
If
in
they
the
can,
background.
there are going to be a lot of people who are triggered.
I think anyone watching me on these last couple of videos are going to be extremely triggered. A third gender. A gender that feels very wide, commanding, and and breathtaking and powerful. Okay. Like, I'm okay. I already called dibs. I called dibs on when we do this on the gender bench. I call dibs on greeting the names, just so I can like over exaggerate these, since I'm technically doing this on my own channel too. Yeah, me, my girlfriend, and one of my friends, we just recently started a YouTube channel called The Gender Bench, and basically it's us just being a bunch of morons, and we'll be doing
Us
this.
being a bunch of morons and pretending it's a podcast.
Yeah, being a bunch of morons and pretending like it's a podcast. Exactly.
That being said,
Jeez.
we're a very serious podcast. You must take us seriously.
Anyhow, watch. Because obviously if you're watching my videos, you don't have anything better to do. So,
Oh, insult the audience.
I think it's an insult that they're watching me at all.
Oh.
Anyhow, I love all of you. All 10 of you. Not like any of them are going to actually watch, except very few. Anyhow, next gender, instead of me rambling, a third gender? Oh, yeah. Okay, I just read that one. Very wide, commanding, and... Very wide, commanding, breathtaking, and powerful. Okay, affect you gender. A gender affected by mood swings.
So, technically all of them.
I mean, if you're biologically female, that could be pretty interesting. Not being sexist, just being real. Because I know. Okay. So,
Yay, ones that actually kind of makes sense.
Agender! Yay! A gender that's actually real.
Makes sense.
Okay, having no gender or lack of gender identity. Now,
That is real.
as I have said in the past about non-binary, I do believe that there's not enough science to confirm or deny non-binary identities. However, when you're being stupid, science can't help you. However, this, I can understand how you can feel some sort of dysphoria, or or hell, maybe as just a straight up social standard, you just don't want to be associated with any gender whatsoever. And that's perfectly fine. But just don't be an asshole about it. Like, if someone uses the wrong pronoun on you, don't get butthurt, because this is the real world we live in. Unfortunately, the real world isn't perfect. And I do not ever expect it to be. Anyhow, agender fluid, see transgender? Yeah, transgender.
Hold up. Let me just take a moment here. Agender fluid. You know what gender fluid is, correct?
Yes.
Take that.
Yeah, I kind of assumed, but I'm not going to make assumptions till I actually read that description. However, agender fluid,
Given
it
the
sounds...
next one, agender flux, is C Libra something,
Yeah.
I'm going to assume it's trying to say that there's some sort of star sign thing, which is not correct.
Who knows? I don't know. Based off of what I would assume between this agender fluid and agender flux, which flux and fluid still kind of same gist-ish. I would say that if you can honestly use logic and explain yourself, I can kind of accept it, just because of it's... I mean, I can understand, you might go from feeling like a male to no gender to female to no gender again, or maybe all the genders, I don't know. I don't know, but it's not outrageous, and I think if you at least use reasoning and you're not an asshole about it, that makes sense. Anyhow, but we'll see for sure once I get there. Alexi gender identity, which is fluid between more than one gender, but the individual cannot tell what those genders are.
Again, it sounds like you're just questioning your gender identity.
Yeah. Fluid between more than... Yeah, it just... It sounds like questioning your gender, but with extra steps. Cough, cough. Watches Rick and Morty too much. Anyhow. Alice gender. A gender which is removed from common gender descriptors and guidelines. So basically, it's just screw you gender in general. Basically, I don't need no gender to tell me what the hell
So, effectively...
Okay. Oh, I have to scroll some more because... And... Pardon me trying to maneuver on the screen. It's kind of difficult, honestly. And you all can't suffer with me. It's sad. Okay, ambigender. a feeling of two genders simultaneously, but without fluidity shifting may be used synonymously in some cases with bigender.
Okay.
Let's see.
That one's actually accurate. And exists.
Kind of
Normal
still.
one. It's a weird name for
It's
one.
honestly,
name
it's
that already exists. But
yeah,
it's a normal one.
yeah. I would say that sounds more. Be simple, people. Just say bigender. Like, everything is complicated. We are not. We don't need label for every little descriptor out there. I think this is really what the problem is it's just most of these genders so far are just kind of more like excessive descriptors. Like, heck, if I could get a descriptor for my reader software that was this good, that would be excellent. Okay, next gender. A mere gender. A gender that changes depending on who you're in love with. I mean, honey.
Honestly, that one just sounds like you can't take rejection and just keep trying to change yourself to match.
Yeah. It honestly, it sounds like you're confusing gender for just, for kind of just who you are around your lovers, I guess. Maybe.
Although if it goes into the concept of, although if it goes through with gender entirely and it actually changes depending on who you're in love with, that honestly just feels like they took the phrase, I can be whatever you want me to be, a little too seriously.
Or someone just really wants to stay straight. Or gay. I don't know. Anyhow, hopefully you stay in love with one person, and then you can be one gender. Because that's how life should work. Okay. Next gender. Oh gosh. Embonic. Identifies. I'm horrible at speaking. Identifying as both man and woman, yet neither at the same time. So this is basically Eve.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, there's another word for this, and that would be, you could really shove it into gender neutral, or honestly androgyny or something, but I guess you guys want to be complicated, and that's none of my business. Next gender. Amica gender. You know, a small part of me wants to turn on the reader on my Zoom text just to see if it can pronounce these words. Because, gosh. But I don't feel like dealing with more audio than I have to, so... A gender that changes depending on which friend you're with at the time, at the moment. I'm done.
point, you're running on close to 30 minutes. So if you don't want super long videos, that's kind of where we need to stop.
I will stop at the end of the A's.
Okay.
Just same response to love, except worse. Okay. Emo gender C. Flirt gender. Well, I can already guess what that is. Amor gender. When your gender changes whilst in the presence of an individual to whom you have developed a deep connection for. This could be a romantic attraction, platonic, hold on, dang it, let's see, platonic connection, or a spiritual affinity, or anything similar. Dear God, this just Error 404, logic not found. So once again, it is a gender that changes based off of who you are around. I mean, geez, like, I don't know, with all these genders about being around people, I mean, heck, go with gender fluid even, like, I can kind of accept that to an extent. But no, this is too much. I'm going to the next. Oh look, androgyny, feeling between or a combination of man and woman, or boy and girl. Okay, so yeah. So yeah, I mean, you're kind of everything and nothing at the same time. Male and female. I guess I shouldn't be too quick to judge that one, but you know, it's, I would still kind of call that into more of the range of kind of a bi-gender area, but I guess if you want to be more specific, I guess that's a good descriptor, I guess. It's still within, like, male and female, so...
Gender is described
or gender
as
neutral.
being both
True.
equally. Androgyny would be
kind of
disproportionate,
well,
blend, but they don't.
That still kind of sounds...
or shift.
Yeah, that's just... It sounds more like a specific thing, like a specifier for gender neutral, kind of. It... like, I don't know. I mean, if you want to get label-y, sure, it's a gender. There you go. And cisgender, physically feeling like a certain gender, but feeling more comfortable identifying as another. Okay, this isn't the stupidest one I've heard.
It makes a lot more sense than quite a few of the others, because...
But it's still, like... Okay, so physically, I'm guessing that's kind of in the gender dysphoria area. So, I mean... I guess that's more of, you have dysphoria, but you don't really want to be labeled as that. So, I guess if someone can
Fair.
argue with logic and reason, I can understand it. And you're not an asshole about it, I can respect that. Most people, when they have dysphoria, they want to
That
straight up
one-
identify as that. But,
That when someone who actually identifies as that, explaining it in a logical way would help a lot for understanding it.
yeah. I mean, just... If you identify as that...
We're probably way off with what we're interpreting that description as.
Yeah. I don't know, I feel like it's just... You have dysphoria, but you don't really want to identify as that gender, which... Not to be an asshole, but I'm gonna be an asshole anyways. Sounds like you're just closeted. And I hate to kind of be rude about it, I really do, but... I don't know, if you can give reasoning for... Like, if you're not just saying because that's how I feel, like,
Use actual logic.
like, I'm gonna have to change my YouTube name back to the Potato of Science, because I'm like, require science to understand things. Okay,
Great.
Angela gender.
And we're back to the
A
one
gender
twisting the
found
meaning of
only
thing.
a gender found only among angels that is hard to describe to non-angels. For godkin and angelkin only. Well,
Basically, you identify as godkin or angelkin and decided, you know what, I need to feel extra special. It's not enough that I feel like I'm a holy entity. I need to feel even more special.
so that's like me on the gender bench, but worse.
Yep.
I like to have a god complex. and sometimes I get stuck in the voice. And it's terrible. But but yeah, maybe I should identify as angel. That's angel gender.
No.
Just respect my gender.
People. Honestly, I'll probably get a bunch of hate if they heard me saying that I'm otherkin. So,
Well, anyhow, explanation of what I think. Refer back to those other ones about realization through otherkin, because that's a very similar response. Okay, next one is genital. Okay. A desire to be without primary sexual characteristics without necessarily being genderless. That is exactly what that is, though.
essentially, they're saying they want to be a Barbie doll. They want the tits, but no vagina.
Okay. Fine. You win that one. Just... It's...
Primary sexual characteristics would be vagina or dick. Everything else that's just connected to gender is
I guess...
secondary.
I feel like that's still somewhat genderless in a sense, like it's somewhere in the demi-gender area, I feel like if you're a Barbie doll and hopefully not that skinny, don't promote fatness either, but you know, don't promote Barbie doll size because that's unhealthy. But I mean, I'd say that's up in the demi-gender area. I mean, kind of. I guess that's a more specified under, like, it's under an umbrella, basically. Which only makes sense if you're super labely, which occasionally I can be super labely myself, and I will admit to that. So yes and no. Okay. Anogender. A gender which fades in and out, but always comes back feeling the same. Okay. So you question your gender a lot, but you always come back to one gender. I mean, that's basically what that sounds like. My phone is ringing in the background.
Yep.
I'm not gonna
fix that. It is indeed colorless.
Okay. Speaking of. Okay, next gender. Anogender. A gender that is unknown to both yourself and others. Once again, it just sounds like you're questioning your gender, and that is perfectly fine. That is perfectly fine, and if this is how you question your gender and you want to use these terms to explain how you feel like you're questioning your gender, that's fine. But don't make your life revolve around this, please. You're just gonna make yourself miserable. And I'm gonna just... Can we just not anymore, please? No, there's more. There's more. Oh, let's see. Anon-gender. Okay, next gender. Ante? Yeah, I think that's how that's pronounced. Ante-gender. A protein gender, which has the potential to be anything, but is formless and motionless, and therefore does not manifest as any particular gender. I'm gonna say this again. A protein gender, which has the potential to be anything, but is formless and motionless, and therefore does not manifest as any particular gender. I'm having fun with these. Oh gosh, I'm gonna get so much hate. Don't click on things. How many more of these? I'm gonna check the recording, make sure that's still going good and nothing's gone horribly wrong. Oh geez, this is probably loud as hell. Okay, still recording nicely. We got the infinite loop going on up here. Hopefully that doesn't show though whenever I'm actually going through these. And so essentially, okay, we are back to looking at the genders. It's just so many. I apologize if these are long videos. I just talk a lot, and I want to make clear that there are genders I'm not going to hate on, but I'm not fully going to accept either, and there are just genders that are pure stupidity. Okay, so protein, gender. So it can be anything, but doesn't have a form, doesn't move, and therefore it does not. So it can be anything, but it's nothing at the same time. I mean, it's very poetic. I actually really like that. That's nice. It's poetic. But I mean, I feel like this is something you would come up with being super high or something. I'm gonna try to be reasonable about this one. So it's anything and nothing at the same time, essentially. Which, once again, kind of sounds like some of that other stuff that's still really in the gender neutral area. It really still sounds very gender neutral. To be simple, I guess. I mean, it sounds very similar to a couple of these other ones that are basically anything and nothing at the same time. But, yeah. I mean, that one just sounds more poetic. That's for sure. Yeah. I'm gonna go to the next gender. Anti-gender. A gender which can only be described as the opposite of another gender. Oh, God. An anti-boy being the opposite of boy, also known as ungender. That sounds very the opposite of a boy is basically a girl, and the opposite of a girl is a boy. The opposite of bigender is agender. Ah, God. What kind of drugs are these people on? Jeez. Dear Lord. Oh, praying for some of these people who actually take these seriously and actually strongly identify as these. I can't imagine actually identifying under these. Okay. If you are... Okay. If you're not a boy and, you know... This is just... So, basically... You want to be special with identifying as not a boy or not a girl or not something. These videos are going to be so long just because I keep pausing and just baffled. I am so baffled. Gosh. I swear I'm going to come back to these genders one day and I'm going to re-look over them. And I'm going to be re-baffled again. And okay, next gender. I still need to regather myself. Okay. And anexi gender, a gender affected by anxiety. Oh God! Raven! Raven! There's a gender based off of anxiety. It's beautiful. Oh God. Honey. Honey. I love all of you so much. But if your anxiety, okay, I can somewhat understand where this kind of comes from, because anxiety makes you feel a lot of stupid things. I have very severe anxiety. Okay, I have panic disorder, and quite honestly, I often don't detect my anxiety attacks, and I just end up being an irritable bitch. Gonna be honest. And I apologize for the curse words. Don't really know how to edit those out without completely screwing up everything. In fact, I barely know how to use the computer stuff to do videos, so you guys are lucky this is anything now. Anyhow, I understand, you know, gender anxiety, you know, I can kind of understand, because it's kind of like anxiety does make you feel a lot of different things, and if you're gender fluid or something, I can understand that your anxiety might have an effect on it, maybe. However, if your nerves are changing your anxiety and your gender, you got a problem. You've got a problem. I'm still declaring this as not a real gender, but or shove it under gender fluid. I advise talking to a therapist. Please. Please. Okay. I need a drink. Okay, next gender. Envis gender. See apogender. Oh, guess what? That's the next one. Why do you even have two named things for the same thing? No. Just stop. Stop referring me to another gender and just take that gender off. Okay, I'm gonna stop being annoyed. Okay, apogender. A feeling of apathy towards one's gender that causes one to have no desire to look further into it. Also known as lethargender, inners gender, and anavis gender. Okay. So, story time. Make this video even longer and more horrible. So, basically, I saw this thing about, I don't remember if it was an article or a video, I just remember I was looking at it, and basically, you know, people get really confused with their gender identity because, gender is such a, you can get attention for it, basically, and, and you got trenders, and then you have people who are genuinely confused, and they don't really, they don't feel like, they're kind of like, they're exactly this description, but they keep looking to try to identify it as something else. But in reality, they're not trans, they're just cisgender people because they don't have a desire to really look any further into it. So essentially this, and I know I'm gonna get hate for this, and honestly, whatever. Essentially, this is a special version of cisgender. That's what that is. Anyhow, next gender, epconsgender, a gender in which you know what it isn't, but not what it is. Sort of like the gender is hiding itself from you. Okay.
But if you know all the things it isn't, by process of elimination, you would know what it is.
Exactly. Okay. So, if I wanted to, throw a hissy fit and be even more labely than I am, as it is, honestly, like, this could still be in other genders. This is just is very specifier of it. Because I know I'm not a girl. However, like, I still kind of feel back and forth on agender and male, of course, because I do want to be very more scientific. I stick more with male, just because I do have that dysphoria as well. But sometimes I get genderless dysphoria, and if you want to say that's not real, that's fine. That's your opinion. So, but essentially, I could technically identify as this, but I consider myself to be technically a demi-boy. But I just feel like that's an extreme specifier that's not worth having. Done with you guys. I'm done with this. Not yet, though. Because there's still so many genders, and I've only gotten past the A's. I haven't even got past the A's. Okay, apogender. A subset of agender in which you feel not only genderless, but entirely removed from the concept of gender. Oh, okay, you know what? If you want to be labely like that, fine. Just that's because I see it saying it's a subset of a gender, and you just feel extremely removed from gender in general. That is perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. Just don't be butthurt when someone says that, so you're agender or genderless. Anyhow, moving on. Apollo gender. When you have around 9 can be anywhere from 6 to 10 different distinct feelings of gender that have combined into one big gender identity. It says around 9, and just like, and then it says can't be anywhere from 6 to 10. Like, okay, just why say around 9 when you can just say anywhere from 6 to 10? Okay. Anyhow, this isn't criticism of wording. This is criticism and truth of gender. So, okay. Let's see. Okay. Can we even get up to 6 genders within reason without adding in all the very in-between stuff? Unless, like, we go straight for gender neutral, because there's gender neutral. Like, okay, so here's the extremes of, like, the lines of. This is where I generally draw lines of where gender can be in between of. So, male, female, agender, gender neutral, bigender, and you can be anywhere within those. And I'm trying to think, is there anything else that could okay, I can't even get up to 6, honestly. Like, I mean, yes, if you want to. You are the entire gender spectrum. That's what you are. That is what this gender is. That's exactly what this gender is. It's the spectrum altogether. There you go. Apollo gender. That's just. You are the gender spectrum in itself. Congratulations. Okay, I'm going to the next gender. Apora gender. A gender separate from man/boy, woman/girl, and anything in between, while still having a gendered feeling. I mean, once again, that just sounds like gender neutral, honestly. That still sounds gender neutrally-ness. Maybe androgyny, but not really, because that was also. I don't know, I've seen multiple definitions of androgyny as well, so that's more complicated. I'm still gonna call it gender neutral, or hell, third gender, something like that. I don't know. Yeah, third gender sounds like it would be good. That's. It's still within those boundaries that I have already said. It's just a very more complex. Anyhow, aptu gender. A gender which feels fitted and secured. Okay, one of two things are gonna happen. I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, or my face is just gonna be a meme of just like, what? That's not a gender. That's a description of how you feel in your gender. That's Why? Okay. I'm gonna pretend like I never read that, and I'm gonna go to the next gender. Aquarigender. A gender which is fluid between infinite feelings. Sometimes these feelings may be close to an existing term, and sometimes they are indescribable or abstract, also known as gender flow. I think oh god. I cannot wait to do these with my group on the Gender Pinch. Because this will be fun. This will be extremely fun. Oh no, my girlfriend disappeared under the bed. It's an interesting place. Anyhow. I'm taking this all in right now. Okay. So it's fluid with infinite feelings. So it's just extremely fluid and everywhere. So it's basically just gender fluid. That's basically what it is. That's exactly what it is. As I go through these, I'm trying to kind of be understanding of how someone might identify as something like this. But at the same time, I'm just like... you know, I'm gonna call it out when I see, you know, next gender. Hold on, I'm gonna actually try to pronounce this. Archie gender?
Think like
Archaic. Archaic? Oh, okay. Archaic gender. A gender that is ancient / old and big, and can either only be described with those words or correlation.
So basically the concept of gender in general. Because that's ancient and big.
The concept of gender. That is what this gender is. So we have a gender that's the entire spectrum. And then we have the definition of gender. Oh god, I'm gonna get so much hate. Oh dear. This world is just a gender that is ancient / old and big. It's ancient, old, and big. Like my dick. I don't know if that actually picked up or not, but who knows. Okay. Let us get something straight. Not to offend anyone who is gay. I'm just so triggered right now. You all are gonna hate me. I'm gonna lose all 10 subscribers by the end of this. Actually, probably not like 1 or 2. Are you subscribed to me, Raven?
Yes, I am.
Okay, and so is my other friends. So I'll still have 2 subscribers by the end of this. So I'll lose like 8 subscribers probably from me being doing this. Okay, gonna be real now. Okay, gender. You can't just make up random things. You just can't. Okay? The definition of gender. The definition of gender is your relation to God, to masculinity and femininity. And I want to pull this up on the computer, honestly. I'm doing this. I'm pulling this up because, and pardon me, this is going to take a little extra time to do, but let me find the keys. There we go. Oh wait, actually, okay, define, that's a G. Define gender. And pardon me, this is going to take a minute because running the video and running okay, define gender. Come on, load up. It's being stupid because it doesn't like loading. And this is going to take a minute, but I'm going to show you all the definition of gender and why that identity is pure bullcrap. I'm trying not to cuss. I'm really trying. Oh God. Oh God. Come on, give me... Don't want to use the Bible. I just... Okay. Okay, aha, here we go. Here's the definition. The state of being male or female, typically used with reference to social and cultural difference rather than biological ones. And so, which is why I am lenient about non-binary genders, because social and cultural. So if you want to go off of sociological terms, there you go. So yeah, there's yeah, it's very, look at it, look at it. So something describing it as only ancient makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. And you are welcome. You have been educated. Okay, now that I'm done showing the definition of gender and why it cannot be ancient and old and big, like you can't use those words to only describe it, we can continue. And once again, I apologize for my slowness on here. I literally, I can only see like this little bit of screen at a time. So oh, I went too far down. There we go. Maybe. Okay, 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 cool. another gender that's telling us to look somewhere else. Oh, but look at that, it's the next one down. So, Ari gender? Switching between non-binary genders while feeling particularly associated with one feeling, also known as area fluid. So, switching between non-binary genders while feeling particularly associated with one feeling. Okay, that's just generally non-binary. That is just generally non-binary. God. Just...
Oh, good grief.
What?
The next one's going to trigger you so much.
Oh. I know what this one is. I read this before, which is what encouraged me to make these. Arithmagender. English. A numerical gender. It can range from any number or numbers, positive, negative, decimals, fractions, etc. Just for visual effects. Coming from the blind person. What did I tell you? What did I tell you? I'm not going to reread the definition. But there you go, my friends. My lovely, lovely, lovely people who why?
Arithmagender's back.
Yes. I'm just... Okay. Like... I am a sciencey and math person. My major is astrophysics. Okay? So I'm just like... Part of that includes math. And I know good and damn well that your gender identity is not within my studies.
That would be the social sciences.
Yes. Yes, it is. Very, very retarded social sciences.
Fairly certain a lot of
It's not actually...
I'm fairly certain a lot of people in the social sciences are gonna look at half those and go, yeah, that's kind of bullshit.
Yeah, no, I say stupid social sciences, but I'm honestly, I actually highly respect social sciences because they have a lot more complex things to have to deal with that has no real answers to them, whereas I can come to a real answer. And you know, numbers don't change unless you put them in certain types of settings. Like, yeah. I mean, when they do, you know, there's still a way to... Pretty much, solid sciences are solid for a reason. Like, just, you know, I could go into a nice... I love all of this. Anybody who's a social studying person, I'm just calling bullcrap on some of these things. But as someone who's going into a more solid science, I respect the softer sciences because those are honestly way too complicated. Because you have to work with humans, and they're stupid.
Exactly.
So, I love all of you people who work with people because you have to deal with so much. I'm so sorry. Oh my god. I'm gonna check the recording, make sure it's still going. Yeah, it's still going well. It's still going well, and it's probably taking 1,000 years or so, but that's fine. Okay. Now that I'm done being triggered by... Okay, next gender. Argo gender. A subset of gender fluid. Well, at least this one admits it's a subset. Wherein the changes between one's separate genders or the parts of one's gender happen gradually, or a gender that is defined by its slowness. Okay. Okay. Let's reread this and... Okay. So, does specify it's a subset of gender fluid, so that's nice. Wherein the gender changes between one's separate genders, or the parts of one's gender happen gradually. Okay. As a subset of gender fluid, fine. You know what? You can have it. You can have this gender. I'm not fully set on calling it a real gender, but you know, it does kind of sound reasonable if someone uses reasoning and can explain it without just using because I feel this way. Because yeah. Anyhow, next gender. Aster gender. Okay. I can already tell that these next genders are going to even trigger me more. A gender that feels bright and celestial. So... I'm just... Okay, so I'm going to go to the next one that's probably really gonna mess me. Astral gender. A gender that feels connected to space. Once again, the astro side of my major. So, actually, my first, I've watched a lot of space and documentaries and stuff like this, but this next semester will actually be my first astronomy class. Ironically, I'm actually missing it to watch the solar eclipse because I love space. And I'm really excited because it's the day before my birthday. And I love solar eclipse, and I'm excited. And I'm going to go up to Missouri, hopefully, or go wherever it's not cloudy. So yeah, essentially, yeah, that's a thing. Anyhow, once again, I do not study your gender. So, and once again, gender is not connected to space. It's not connected to space at all. I mean, it's just... Leave my beautiful astronomy out of this, please. Just please leave my beautiful astronomy out of your gender. I beg of you. Okay. Like, just, no. 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 No! Like, that's my life. And you're using it to define your gender. And I understand gender. And I will respect non-binary genders. But no, not that. Don't do that. I could go on a rant. And basically, we would need a time card that says 2 hours later. And you would still see me ranting. But I'm going to be respectful to my viewers that I don't really have much of. And who's going to watch an however long video this ends up being. I'm going to just do the A's today. But these are taking me a long time to do. Okay, next gender. Atmos gender. Having a gender which is present but unable to be grasped or firmly defined. So, it can't be grasped firmly in your hand. References. Beautiful, beautiful references. Grasp my gender firmly in your hand.
Grasp it firmly.
Grasp it firmly! Okay. Gonna be honest. I'm just being a butthead with that. Once again, that just sounds like you're kind of questioning your gender. Or you have a very loose connection to your gender, which demigender. Cough cough. Anyhow, next gender. Oddie gender? A gender which can only be understood in the context of being autistic? Am I reading this right?
I don't know. I can't see it
Autistic.
from where I am.
Yeah, reading it from under the bed would be a difficult task.
Yes, it says autistic.
Well, I guess I'll have to wait until I do this on the gender bench when we have, when I have my friend who actually has autism to say whether this is a real gender or not. Because I guess I don't have a right to really say if it's real or not, but I can almost guarantee you that friend of mine will say that this is bullcrap. Anyhow, next gender, auto gender. So, are we going to go to an auto repair shop to fix your gender? A gender experience that feels deeply personal to oneself. Oh, so it's not auto in a mechanic, it's auto in like the organism. Well, at least they're doing something right. A gender that feels deeply personal and to oneself. Okay. People, if your gender does not feel personal to you, if it doesn't feel personal, you've got it wrong. Got it way wrong. Ah! Unicorns on fire. Jeez, this is... That's a descriptor. And once again, if you don't feel that way about your gender, seriously, go talk to a freaking therapist or something. Get mental health. Or just come to terms with the fact that all of your crap is stupid. Okay, next gender. Axigender. When a person experiences two genders that sit on opposite ends of an axis. One being a gender and the other being any other gender. These genders are experienced one at a time with no overlapping and with very short transition time. God.
Okay, that one I can actually kind of understand. Because the Ninja Clubs always had a little bit of overlap.
Yeah.
So that one kind of
rephrase it. Rephrase it to make it a little better. Let's see. Can I even do that? A person experiences two genders that sit on opposite ends of an axis. Yeah, let's take out that first sentence and just basically you feel a gender and being any other gender. These genders are experienced just one at a time with no overlapping and with very short transition time. I still feel like that could honestly be a subset of gender fluid, but I guess if you want to get labely, why not?
And that's the A's.
That's the A's. We're at the end of the A's, you guys.
So that would be.
Thank the good Lord. Thank you so much. God, and the infinite loop of things. Anyhow, I'm gonna thank you all for watching this horribly long video, assuming anyone actually watches it. And we'll be back next time with the bees. I don't know when, but it'll happen. So yeah, join me next time on the Gender Playground.